Hello and welcome to this lecture, and in this lecture what we will do is that we will start building the fragments application. So the first thing which you need to do is that you need to create a brand new Android Studio project. So make sure that you open up Android Studio and create a new project, and let's name this thing as my demo fragment and click next. Make sure to select the API level as 15, click next, and select an empty activity, and let the name of your main activity be main activity. Click next and click finish. And in this lecture what we will do is that we will first start creating the class which we have, which is actually going to provide data for fragment 1 and fragment 2. So our main motive is to build an app which looks like this, which has the items on the left hand side and the name and description on the right hand side. So as this application is going to provide us with three options, that is basically lunch, breakfast and dinner, we actually need to list those things in the class which we are creating right now. So the first job is to basically go to this folder right here and create a Java class. And we are actually going to name this class as, let's say, menu. Hit OK. And once this class is created, let's go ahead and add some variables right here. So we type private string name and private string description. So the name is actually going to hold up the value like breakfast, lunch and dinner, and the description is actually going to hold up the description of that particular meal. So for example, if you select breakfast as the name, so its description would be something like 2 whole eggs, brown bread and coffee. So now let's go ahead and build the array of menu, which actually stores the name and the description. So we type public static, and this is going to be final menu, and as this is an array, let's name this as menus equals, and let's specify some items over here. So we will go right here and type new menu, and the first item is going to be breakfast, and I'm extremely sorry if I make some typos over here. So let's say for breakfast we are going to have let's say 2 whole eggs, then give a /n so that the next food item is going to be displayed on the next line. So let's say we are going to have bread along with eggs, and let's say finally we have coffee. Okay, so once we are done with this, let's add the new item. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to simply copy this, paste it multiple number of times, and I guess 3 items should be fine. One for breakfast, then for lunch, and then finally for dinner. So let's say for lunch we are going to have let's say 3 whole eggs and a broccoli. And we are not going to have coffee over here, so make sure to remove that. And let's say in dinner we are going to have let's say brown rice, so let me just delete that. And let's say this is going to be potato, and let's say again we are going to have broccoli. Okay, so once these items are added to the array, the next thing which we need to do is that we need to create a constructor. So we will type private menu, which is the class name, then this is going to have string name and string description. Okay, so once we have the name and the description, the next thing which we need to do is that we need to set these things. So this dot name equals name, and this dot description equals description. So once we have these things, the next thing which we need to do is that we need to set the get methods for name and description. So we type get description and return description, then we type get name and return name. Okay, so once this thing is done, the final method which we are going to add over here is going to be the toString method. So we type public string toString, and this is basically going to return the name. So we type return this dot name, And once we are done with this, we are pretty much done creating the class which is going to actually provide data to both the fragments which we are going to use. So that's it for this lecture, and in the next lecture what we will do is that we are going to create our very first fragment in Android, and we are basically going to add that fragment to this main activity right here. So right now we don't have anything in the main activity, so if you click on the design view, as you could see, we have pretty much left everything as it is. So in the next lecture we will create a fragment and add that fragment to this particular main activity. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.